New month, new critical node. Let's go.
Watch and learn! Let me share the load. Okay. Time to share! No escape. Oops. Let me at him. Found your weakness. Sure. The flames follow my flow. Here! You like that? Let me at him! Dirty trick! Let's make this quick. Want some more? Ready for a fiery heat! Sure. No escape. Where's the rapid? Don't push it too far. Taking the shot. Face the consequences.
Shift is over!
Mind your manners. Right in front of you!
Not for too many knots! I'm not tired at all!
This one's gotcha.
My turn!
Max potential energy. There's nowhere to run.
Straight into the ground! Straight to the Earth's core! Yeah!
Ready! Out of the way! Sure.
Any last word?
The brave fear nothing. Who's the hunter?
Go, 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 go! Yeah!
Following order.
Your shift is over!
Mind your manners. Right in front of you! Justice is served.
And that is it for this critical node. So, in general, I guess, with my experience of this critical node, I would say it's kind of simple, really, I guess. The only hard part is that two of the frontiers, specifically the second half, is weak to electric. Yeah, so that means that you have to be a little bit creative on what teams to run. But luckily, electric is pretty stacked, so I'm pretty sure none of you guys won't have any trouble with this critical node, especially if you leveled up Anton, because Anton is pretty great on electric teams because he wants the enemy shocked, and guess what electric teams do the best? They leave shock. So yeah, this should be pretty simple in general, as long as you build a proper electric team. And even then, you don't even need to build an electric team to just beat this critical node. You can just run any other team. You can run, like, I don't know, like mono ice, or you can run the ether team. As long as the enemy doesn't resist the type that you are running, you should be a-okay. So yeah. Well, anyways, now it's time to talk about the frontiers in greater detail. So starting off with the 5th frontier. The 5th frontier is honestly kind of difficult. And by that, I mean you have to fight in the first half. You have to fight the doppelgangers. Yeah, Bella, Mors, Pulchra. Oh boy. So, if you guys fought these enemies before in the story mode, you already know how annoying they are. So, I won't dive into greater detail because they already been featured in 3 critical nodes. So, yeah. Bellum, in short, Bellum is just a attacker who does like heavy damage. He has a lot of yellow attacks, so he should be reactable for the most part. Pulchra loves to do fast attacks on you, so she can catch you off guard if you're not careful, but she does do yellow attacks too, so you should be looking out for those to get yourself a parry window or something like that. It's basically similar to Bellum, but it's just faster Bellum, I would say. And Mors is the most annoying out of the 3. That is because he has range compared to those 2. So he has range with the gun. He also has little to no yellow attacks. So it is hard to parry against him, but you can dodge his attacks. So yeah, but most of the time he's going to be doing red attacks, so you better just watch out for that and counter accordingly, of course. Since these enemies are weak to fire and physical, you can just run a fire physical team. For me, I just ran the Jane, Caesar, Burnice team. That team, in my opinion, is the best team in the game. Literally destroys this, like, first half, no problem whatsoever. They just do too much damage, and I mean way too much damage. But you don't have to run fire and physical, just like any other critical node. You can just run whatever you want, as long as you know what the enemies do, and you should be no issues here. Yeah, so you just run whatever you want, and basically just beat them as fast as you can. So yeah. As for the second half, they are weak to ice and ether, and they are, as you see here, the ethereals. So the ethereals are also pretty annoying too, specifically Thanatos. If you guys are a long-time viewer of my channel, you already know how much I hate Thanatos. This guy loves to teleport, he loves to do ranged attacks, aka red attacks. He loves to do that invisible thingy where he does like 3 slashes. He's just really annoying in general. I would say take him out first because he's just that annoying. He's really annoying. And plus he's just gonna be shooting arrows while Goblin over here is going to be hammering you with attacks. So yeah, if you don't want to deal with 2 enemies at once, then I suggest you just go for Thanatos. But other than that, besides these 2 at the end of the second half, you have the Armored Hati. This thing is not that bad. He does constantly attack you, but that is a good thing because if you do parries, which is very often, you can break its shield. Yes, you can do parries to break its shield. It says right here, you can use defensive assist to greatly reduce its armor. So as long as you parry enough, the armor will break and it'll basically be exposed, meaning that you do more damage. So yeah, it's not really that bad in general. Just take out its armor and it should be easy to deal with them. As for, well, after you beat them, well, good luck, because these 2 are really annoying. Specifically Thanatos, of course. As I said before, they are weak to ice and ether, so you can't just run something like, well, as you see here, Shuyan, qingyi, Nicole, that is the ether team. You can run mono ice, so basically, like Ellen, Lycon, Sokaku. As long as you know, what to do in the second half, you should be fine. You don't need ice and ether just like the first half, as long as you beat them as fast as you can. So yeah, that is it for the 5th frontier. Now it's time to talk about the 6th frontier. The 6th frontier is pretty interesting because we got some, well, new enemies that are featured here in the 6th frontier. So we have, well, I guess the only new enemy here, the Hati Pack Leader. This thing is weak to fire, and everyone in here is weak to fire. So, well, this thing is basically like your normal Hati, but he is more aggressive. Yeah, so think of it like a aggressive Hati, I guess. So, this thing is weak to fire, which means that you can run characters like 11, Burnice, Lucy, Ben, Coleta, etc. You can just run the fire team if you want, but as long as you don't bring electricity, you should be fine for the most part, because this thing loves to just attack you, which means that you can just parry and then just do whatever you want against it. He's pretty simple overall. You can run something like, well, like a generic team, probably like, I don't know, PubSec. You can run PubSec against him. Yeah, as long as you can just beat him fast enough, you should be fine. As for the second half right here, we have the Guardian Mark II. These things are really annoying. Yeah, they do bash attacks. They love to shoot missiles. They shoot machine guns. Yep, he's really annoying. He also does that spin attack too. That's also pretty annoying too. But he should be fine overall, because he does give you plenty of opportunities to react in time, and he does attack kind of slow compared to the Hati. So yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to deal with them. As long as you can react accordingly, you should be fine. Also, since the enemy's weak to electricity, you can run like some free-to-play options like Anby or like Anton or something like that. But for the most part, you don't need electricity. Again, you could just run whatever you want. You could even run physical, as long as it doesn't resist what you run. So yeah, that is it for the 6th frontier. It's not that bad. And as for the 7th frontier, this thing gave me a ton of trouble. If you saw in the footage, that is because, well, I was off on my timing for Hans. Hans's attack pattern, I realized, is different from the other Belobog robots. So yeah, I suffered major time loss. But if I did, well, I did lock in the last like 2 minutes of the fight. So yeah, that is how this like took so long. It's 3 minutes. So yeah, that's my explanation. But I am getting ahead of myself, so let's just talk about the first part of the 7th frontier. So it's the Rampart Brute, the Rampant Brute, aka Razor. Razor's easy. As long as you bring anomaly types or anomaly characters, this guy is like a joke. You could literally run Piper and this guy suffers. Yeah, so his other well, attributes I guess that you should watch out for is that he loves to spam attack a lot, which means that you're gonna be well, dealing with a lot of yellow attacks, but that is free parries for you. So yeah, especially if you are running Caesar, that's just free stun right there and a free shield. You can also run as well Fire. Fire is pretty good too, so 11, Kaleda, Lucy, or something similar like that. Or you can run physical, so like Nekomata, Billy, etc. This guy just loves to, well, attack a lot. And he does give you a plenty of time when he does get stunned to just attack him and wail on him. So he shouldn't be that bad. If you do trigger Disorder on him though, which I do recommend that you should just trigger Disorder, he will get interrupted, which is really, really good. It means that he just stops attacking. It's just free damage. It's just free damage. So yeah, take advantage of the weakness he has about anomalies. And you should be pretty fine for the most part. But you can just defeat him normally if you want to. You can just run a normal DPS team. But I would suggest that you should just run Anomaly. Just to basically, well, destroy him even further than before. So yeah. As for the second half, it's Hans. Hans is annoying. Yeah. He does the spin attack. He does the stomp attack. He has different timings compared to your other Belobog robots. So it's much stricter. If you did see the footage right there, I did dodge like maybe like 2 seconds or 1 second late, and then he is able to just attack you for free. So yeah, you just have to watch out for his attack patterns for the most part. He is weak to electricity, so you can't just run electricity to just do a bunch of damage on him. He does get stunned when he does get shocked, which is pretty nice. But you can also just run whatever you want, as long as it's not physical. You can run Mono Ice, you can run Ether, you can run the Fire team, whatever suits your fancy. As long as you can defeat Hans in time, you should be pretty okay in general. But electricity is his weakness, so you can just take advantage of it. And besides, there's a ton of electric agents that you can just use, like again, Anton, Qingyi, Grace, Seth, etc. Electricity is just pretty stacked in general, so you can't just make like an electric team and just, well, do as much damage as you can, and hopefully beat it in, well, at least under like 300 seconds. So yeah, but that's basically it for the 7th Frontier. Overall, it's not really that bad as long as you bring the necessary characters. You don't even need to bring their mechanics. So like, for instance, like Rampant Brute, you don't have to bring Anomaly to beat them. You can just run like a basic team and you should be fine. Same with Hans. You don't have to bring electricity. You could just bring whatever you want, as long as it does enough damage. So yeah, but now it's time for the segment where I talk about my build. So yeah, well, anyways, this is the team that I used to beat the 7th Frontier. So let's just talk about it. So on the first team, we have the investigator of the criminal investigations team, Jane Doe, who is also an undercover agent. So yeah. As for my Jane Doe, she is leveled up to the max. This is her stats right here. She has high attack, she has AM with AP, with physical damage bonus. That is because I just want her to just do as much damage as she can with assaults. So that's the reason why I just leveled those up accordingly. So yeah. As for skills right here, she is at core level 4 with 7 talents across the board. So she's just basically just minimally built, but she is really busted when it comes to assault damage. I am planning to level this up even further because look at this. It's just more guaranteed crits. But with the 400 AP that she has right now, she mostly just crits all the time, so it doesn't really matter in general. But yeah, this is my skills right here. They're just basically minimally built. As for equipment right here, we have 2-piece Freedom Blues. The more AP she has, the higher her crit chances, which is pretty great. And as for Fang Metal, that is 4-piece. And that is because when you trigger Assault, you do 35% more additional damage, which means that all of your assaults will just do nuke damage. Yep. Pretty simple, really. And as for W Engine, it's our main signature W Engine right here. Sharpened Stinger with AP. And it also gives physical damage bonus as well with increased anomaly build-up rate. So yeah, pretty great. And as for Mindscape, she is at Mindscape 0. She doesn't really need it to be good. So yeah. She's just great in general without Mindscape. And that is it for Jane. I would say that she is basically the MVP of this run. She just does way too much damage for her own good. But as for her, well, we have 2 other MVPs. Honestly, this team is just really, really broken in general. I'm gonna say it now. Jane, Caesar, Burnice is the best team in the game. No questions asked. As for the other MVP of the team, we have the leader of the Sons of Caledon, as well as the Overlord of the Outer Ring, Caesar King. So she is at level 60 as well, with high impact, as you see there. She also has crit rate, crit damage, basically golden ratio. She has right here physical damage bonus. She does do a ton of physical hits in general, so might as well squeeze in a little bit of extra damage. So yeah. As for skills right here, I have core level 5 with level 7 talents across the board right there. I am also planning to level this up to max because, as you see here, 1400% shield, which is pretty great, and 1000 attack, which means that she's able to just give 1000 attack to party members, just like a certain blue Oni. So yeah, I am still planning to level this up to the max. So yeah, but these skills right here, they're just minimally built, but she still is pretty great, even if her skills aren't maxed out. So yeah. As for equipment right here, she has right here 2-piece impact percent. Pretty great in general. I mean, more impact that she has, the stronger her shield becomes, and also she could stun faster. So yeah. And as for the 4-piece set, it is Protopunk. Protopunk is the newest set right now as of version 1.2. Literally gives you a 50% shield effect, and as well as 50% increased damage if you do defensive or evasive assists, which is pretty great in general. So yeah. As for W Engine of choice, she has her signature Tusks of Fury impact percent with a ton of great benefits right here, like the shield value increased by 30%, 18% more damage, and as well as 12% more days, which is pretty great in general for Caesar. So yeah. As for Mindscape, I have Mindscape 0. She doesn't need Mindscape as well to be good. She's already great right off the bat. So yeah. As for Caesar, pretty great. Best shielder in the game, also the best character in the game, in my opinion. She also is the best support in the game. She's literally like the best at mostly everything that she does. Literally gives 1k attack to party members with the shield. Literally does a lot of impact as long as you, of course, level it up like crazy. She also is pretty great in general when it comes to damage, especially if you just level up crit damage. She's able to hit pretty high numbers, surprisingly, even if she is running a support set. So yeah, that is it for Caesar King. Also the MVP of the team. So yeah. And as for the last MVP of the team, we have the fuel specialist of the Sons of Caledon, as well as the bartender and the drink mixer of the Sons of Caledon, Burnice White. So Burnice, right here, she is basically just at the maximum, I would say, for at least in my case. She has 2k attack right there. She has AM so that she's able to just trigger burn more. She has AP up the wazoo. She has energy regen thanks to her cores, of course. And she also has fire damage bonus. So yeah, she's just gonna be doing burns like crazy. Even though she is not at level 60, she still has pretty high attack in general. And that is because I just got really lucky on subs. So yeah. As for skills right here, basically the same as Caesar. She has core level 5 with level 7 talents. She doesn't really need to level up that much in my case, and that's because she just does way too much damage. But of course, again, just like all the other agents, I am going to be leveling up her core. Look at this, 350% of Burnice's attack as fire anomaly buildup. Easily level up, I would say. But again, she doesn't really need to level up her talents just like the others, as long as you're able to just put in the work. And as for her, well, she put plenty of it. As for the build right here, I just have Chaos Jazz right here as the 4-piece set. Literally increases AP as well as fire damage, which is pretty great. It also increases 20% if she is off field as well, which means that her burn damage is going to be doing like a bajillion damage. It does like 50k like per tick. Yeah, it's really busted. As for 2-piece set, I went for fire damage bonus. The reason why I didn't go for AP is because fire damage is more consistent on burnice. So that's the reason why I just ran fire damage for 2-piece instead. As for the W engine of choice, it's her signature W engine Flame Maker Shaker attack right here with more energy regen and increases 3.5% of attack as well as gives AP as well. So basically she just reaches around the 400 AP range, no problem for me. So yeah. As for Mindscape Cinema, she is at 0. Doesn't need Mindscape to be good, just like the other S-rank agents. So yeah. In general, burnice, I would say, besides like Jane and Caesar, is probably gonna be like the main carry, especially well, since she is able to just do bajillion damage against Razor for the first half. Yeah, she literally took 1/2 of his health when he was stunned. It is busted. Super broken. Burnice is able to just trigger burns all the time. Literally the MVP of the team, I would say. More than these two. Yeah, she's just way too broken for her own good. So yeah. As for the Bang Boo of choice for the first half team, I have Bang Volver. Bang Volver is one of the best Bang Boo ever created in the game, I would say. He just does too much. Literally gives you 100% anomaly buildup. His anomaly buildup is actually pretty crazy. His physical damage is also pretty crazy too. So definitely not a sleeper Bang Boo. It's just way too good, especially with this team right here. Burnice is able to just do the burn damage, while these two right here, Caesar is just going to be putting up the shield and support, while Jane just does the anomaly buildup with the help of Bang Volver. So yeah, it's pretty great in general. As for team number 2, for the second half, we have the Shock team. It's just your typical ordinary Shock team. So yeah. As for the first member of the team, here we have the newest, well, I guess the newest member in the showcases of Critical Node, Anton, who is the, well, mechanic specialist, besides, of course, Grace. So yeah. As for Anton, he just has a typical ordinary build. Yeah, crit damage, golden ratio. Really nothing special there. He also has attack right there. He has, I see there, crit damage. He has energy regen and electric. The reason why I gave him energy regen is because I want his drill to be as much up as possible. If you do sacrifice energy regen for other things, you won't have the drill as up often as it should be. So that's the reason why I just gave him energy regen. So he's able to just be in the enhanced state for longer. As for the talents right here, he is basically just normal, really. He is at core level 4 with like normal talents right there. The reason why they're at 11 right here, as you see there, 11, is because he is at MC6. So of course he gets the +2 boost to all of these, which is pretty great. He just does way too much damage, especially if you have him at M6. So he is going to be basically one of your main damage dealers if you are going to be running him for the second half. So yeah. As for equipment right here, I gave him the bare necessities. As you see there, this is where his energy regen comes from. 2-piece swing jazz gives him more energy regen, which means that he is able to get into his enhanced state even longer than before. So yeah, pretty great in general. As for 4-piece set, it's Thunder Metal. Thunder Metal is a must run for Anton because it just gives him more attack when the enemy is shocked. And guess what he is? He's a shock DPS. So it's pretty great in general. As for the W engine of choice, it is his signature W engine, gives him energy regen as well as more electric damage, which is pretty great in general. So yeah. As for Mindscape Cinema, I already teased it before. He is at MC6. MC6 Anton is just way too good. As see here, an MC6 literally gives him more damage, which is pretty great. His MC4 right here gives him more crit rate, which is pretty nice. His MC2 right here gives him shield, and also well, right here, when he enters combat, he's able to reapply the shield effect, which is pretty nice. It means that he doesn't get interrupted that much, which is pretty great. And as for MC1, he's able to get more energy, which means that his drill will last longer. So yeah, pretty imperative that you should get Anton to MC6 or Mindscape Cinema 6 or M6, and that's because he's just able to do more damage on his enhanced state. So yeah. As for Anton in general, I would say he did pretty good damage overall, but he's not the real MVP of the second half. I would say that the real MVP right here is this girl. Yeah, this is the robot automaton of the criminal investigations team, Qingyi, who is also apparently 500 plus years old. As for Qingyi, she is at level 60 right here. She's the only level 60 member, as you see here, because look at this, Anton's level 50, Grace is level 50, so she's the only level 60 member of the team. She has basically a generic build. She has impact, she has attack, she has crit rate damage, she has energy regen, electric damage. Yep, it's just your generic stun build. So yeah. As for skills right here, she is minimally built as well, just like her peers. So she has core level 5 with level 7 talents. She is pretty great in general. I would level this up to max as well. I am planning to do that in the future because she's able to just increase a lot of stun damage multiplier, which is great for her gameplay. So yeah. As for equipment right here, she is at, well, for 4-piece, Shockstar Disco. This is the main disc set that every stun agent wants to run. Literally basic dash dodge gives you 20% more days on the target. And guess what Qingyi does a lot? Moonlit Blossom. Yep, and that counts as a basic attack. So it's pretty great on her. As for the 2-piece set, Swing Jazz. Her EX is able to allow her to go into third attack, which means that you're able to do Moonlit Blossoms again. So yeah, it's pretty great in general. That's why I gave her Swing Jazz. As for the W engine of choice, let me introduce you to one of the most broken W engines in the game, Ice Jade Teapot. Literally gives you impact percent. Literally gives you more impact again on the passive, and gives you 20% increased damage for all party members. Yep. There's no other W engine that could ever do that ever, besides, well, Caesar's, of course. But this thing is just way too broken because you can just give it to anyone. It's just that good. As for Mindscape Cinema, she is at M0. I would say that her Mindscape is not really needed, but it's really broken because literally on Mindscape 1, you literally get 30% increased Flash Connect voltage build-up rate. This means that she becomes the fastest stunner in the game. Yeah, so if you really want to hyper-focus on Qingyi, or if you can't wait for Qingyi's next rerun, I would say you don't have to get her Mindscape, but if you really do love her that much, and if you want her to be like the fastest stunner and also be at her peak performance, you can go for Mindscape 1. But again, it's Mindscape 1, so you have to really invest in her. But that's basically it for Qingyi. I would say Qingyi, as I said before, is the MVP of the team because she just does way too much stun. She is the fastest stunner in the game, still, at M0. She's able to just, be crazy. She auto-dodges on Moonlit Blossoms. Her third attack just does way too much damage, and also applies shock really fast because it's a constant stream of electric attacks. She's just on her own. She's in her own league. She's just way too good. Probably like one of the carries of all time for this team. As for the last member, we have the mechanic specialist and as well as the robot builder, Grace Howard. So Grace, well, I would say this, she's not really that built compared to her peers. You'll see what I mean. So she's at level 50. She is at okay attack. She has AM so that she's able to just build up shock really fast. She has normal AP, I would say, and she has energy regen with electric damage bonus. So basically just your generic typical anomaly build. So yeah. As for skills, yeah, you see what I mean by she's not really fully built compared to her peers? Look at this. It's core level 2. But, you saw what Grace was able to do, right? At core level 2, she was able to just do shock like crazy. And she's able to just do so much damage too. So, yeah, Grace is still pretty good, even without, her core being leveled up, really well. That just shows just how good Grace is. So yeah, as for the skills right here, of course I'm going to be planning to level these up to probably like level 7 and then just work on other agents as well. So yeah. As for equipment right here, it's your generic, typical anomaly build. So yep, you know what that means. 4-piece Freedom Blues. Freedom Blues is pretty good. Literally gives you anomaly buildup res of 20%, which is pretty nice. It means that she's able to just do shock even more, which is what her main gameplay is. As for 2-piece set, since she wants to spam her EX a lot, you can run Swing Jazz. Swing Jazz is able to just let her do that. She's able to just spam her EXs really fast. So it's pretty great in general. As for her W engine of choice, I gave her Fusion Compiler. It's pretty good in general. Gives her attack, gives her AP, and also pen ratio. Pen ratio is pretty good on disorder teams, so you can just run that. It's also pretty great on shock teams as well. So it's a pretty good W engine. I mean, it is her main, so yeah, it's pretty good on her. As for Mindscape Cinema 2. Oh boy! If you want to know the story on how I got her to Mindscape Cinema 2, you should check out all the summoning videos. There is a playlist on my channel. You can just check it out. But I recommend you watch them because this is where the Grace curse begins. So her Mindscape Cinema, she doesn't need it, but it's pretty great on her. So an MC1 literally gives her energy regen, which is pretty great. It also combos well with her core because she wants to do basic attacks to just do a lot of anomaly buildup, which is pretty great. As for Mindscape Cinema 2, it's pretty great as well. Electric res decrease and as well as anomaly buildup res decrease, which is pretty great as well. It means that she's just able to just do a ton of her grenade damage. So yeah, even though she doesn't need Mindscapes, her Mindscapes are pretty good, even if you do get her by accident. So yeah. As for Grace, I would say she also is a pretty good agent in this run. She's able to just do shock, which means that Anton right here is able to pop off like crazy because he wants the enemy shocked, so he's able to do as much damage as he can. And Grace is a pretty great anomaly build up shock setup because she's the fastest in the game. Yeah, literally. One of the fastest anomaly shock setups in the game and probably the only one. So yeah. And that is it for the team right there. As for the Bang Boo of choice right here, I went with Plug Boo. Plug Boo is a no-brainer as well in this team. Literally just run the best electric Bang Boo you have. As you see there, anomaly buildup and electric damage, and increases anomaly buildup. And guess what? These two have in common, they love to do a lot of electric anomaly buildup. And guess who benefits from that? Yeah. And that is basically it for this critical node. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you do guys enjoy the video, and if you want to support the channel, be sure to leave a like down below, and as well as subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot if you do support the channel. Helps to keep me motivated in making more videos and to pump out content for you guys. So again, thank you guys so much if you do like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So again, thank you so much for the support. As for the comments down below, what do you think of this Shiyu defense? You think it's easy? You think it's hard? What teams did you use? I am really curious to find out what you guys used. I mean, probably most people just use Anton, maybe, since this Shiyu defense in particular loves to lean towards more of the fire and electric range. So probably we would see a lot of 11s, Kaledas, Antons. So I want to know what you guys ran. Did you run those teams or did you run something else? Let me know in the comments. And as always, Thank you guys for watching this Shiyu Defense Critical Node video, and I'll see you guys in the next gotcha video.